next question is, you once said that African diasporans are now an open soft target. Can you elaborate on it for us?
Well, one of the things that one has to understand, we're living in really trying times in the world, particularly in Africa. As you know, they say in the developed world, if you get a cold and you sneeze, we in the developing countries, you sneeze, we get pneumonia here. So you find the indigenous people will look at you. And as I say, there's only two visible foreign nationals that are in Ghana that would bring attention to the eyes of the indigenous people. And those two foreign nationals are Chinese and Africans of the diaspora, particularly African Americans. And so with the Chinese, Ghanaians and Africans know they cannot touch them because China has an embassy, she has a superpower weight, and she take care of her own. But Africans of the diaspora, African Americans, African Black Brits, we don't have the protection of our embassy. If you did, you would not be coming here in the first place. And so the indigenous people, obviously, I'm not saying all indigenous people, because you know, in every country you go, you got unscrupulous minds, you got criminals, and so they are looking at the Africans of the diaspora, and they see that we, the African of the diaspora here in Ghana, is really not organized. They have no protection of the embassy, and so you find a situation where unscrupulous minded criminals move in on what they consider to be a soft spot, a soft target. And that is the African of the diaspora. And I bear witness of the fact it bears out to what I said over a year ago. If we do not get organized and start galvanizing as a solid community, that you're going to find many cases where Africans of the diaspora are going to be attacked, and many of them are going to get their property repossessed. Many of them are going to be scammed. And so we're having situations where Africans of the diaspora are beginning to come forward to say that they are being scammed. In the central region of Ghana, in the Asebu area, there's been many reports about Africans of the diaspora spent their money honestly on land and come to find out they could not have closure on that land. They couldn't get an indenture. We have that around the greater Accra. Then you had the recent situation about the demolishment of the African Hebrews property. Now, I can't go into detail on that, but the information that's coming out is that it was an unfair, demolition that was done without redress to the authorities and law. But of course, that I'm sure is still under investigation, so I don't want to make any particular statement. But what I will say is this. One of the things in being in Africa for a long period of time, you realize that Africans of the diaspora, if you come here and you're opening up a project, the first thing, not only should you register to make sure that you are legal and pay the authorities for whatever services that are rendered to you, the land or whatever, but you must empower the indigenous community around you so that community will protect you. And that community, if it feels that it is benefiting from your project that you have there, it will protect you from anyone coming to demolish your area. And if they do not protect you, it means there must be a gap between you and the indigenous community.